Does anyone remember what the word comprehension means? Comprehension. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. What does comprehension mean? If you have an idea, raise your hand. Oh, a couple friends think they know. Jasper, what do you think? You forgot. That's okay. Rowan, what do you think?
It means,
Yep, it's the music. What do you think comprehension means?
I know it's
Oh. Rowan, go ahead.
means,
Do you need some help from a friend? Okay, sounds good. Francis, do you remember what comprehension means?
it means the main idea.
Oh, very close. So the main idea is something we use to comprehend. But friends, comprehension, it means understanding. So comprehension means that we're understanding either what we're looking at or what we are reading. So we used main idea as one way that we can, we use we use the main idea as one way to comprehend a picture. Do you remember this picture from yesterday?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you remember what we talked about yesterday? What was the main, what was the main idea of this picture? Or what was this picture all about? Do you remember, Felix?
Yeah, they're gardening.
Yeah, we talked all about how they were gardening. Raise your hand if you can remember one of the clues we used to decide that they were gardening. Do you remember one, Rowan? Sit up, Brayden. Oh, yeah. The bucket. We talked about how there's either seeds in that bucket or we're either going to put all of our plants in that bucket once we pick them. Very good. Gideon, what was another clue that we used?
There was
Plants?
yeah, the carrots.
Yep, very good. So we saw down here that this little boy, he was picking some sort of plant. So we thought maybe they were picking something out of a garden. Let's see. Elle, do you remember another clue we used? Ava, say crisscross. Connor, A, crisscross. Yeah, that man is using a shovel. Do we use a shovel inside of our houses? No. Do you use a shovel when you're driving somewhere?
No.
No. Do you use a shovel when you're gardening?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And the last clue I remember us talking about that Cora pointed out is they look like they might be in a backyard because there's some houses over here. There's a fence over here. Do you do gardening in a backyard? Yeah, you sure do. So the main idea, the main idea of our poster was that this family is gardening together, and the supporting details we used were that they're in a backyard, there's plants in the ground, they have a shovel, and there's some sort of bucket that might be helping to plant. Brayden, if you have something to share, you need to raise your hand, please, sir. Thank you very much. So that was the main idea. The main idea is something we can think about in our brain to help us understand what is happening in a picture or a story. So boys and girls, we talked about how the main idea is the big idea. I want everyone to take off their hands. Say, the main idea is the big idea. Ready? The main idea is the big idea. Very good, and now go like this. Say, supporting details. Support the main idea.
Support the main idea.
All right, so let's try it again. So the main idea is the big idea. Ready?
The main idea is the big idea.
Very good. And then supporting details. Support the main idea.
Support the main idea.
Very good. So now, friends, today we're going to be looking at a new poster. We're going to be reading a couple sentences. I want you to just think in your brain, what is the main idea? There's one sentence that I will read that's going to tell us what the whole entire picture is about and what the whole entire passage is about. So I want you to be extra mindful that you're listening for that sentence. Okay, is the sentence going to be about supporting details?
Yeah.
No, supporting details support the main idea, but are they the main idea? No, they're just the clues that we use to figure out the main idea. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this poster. I really like this one. And I'm going to read it to you. Just be thinking in your brain, what is this all about? What is the big idea? What is the main idea? It's called What Lives at the Pond. Can someone raise their idea? Or their idea? their hand and tell me what are some things you know that live at a pond? Avea.
Fishes and turtles.
Yep, fishes might live at a pond. Turtle might live at a pond. What else could live at a pond? What do you think, Rowan?
Little alligators.
Alligators might live in a pond. Maybe. Jasper, what else might live in a pond?
Frogs.
Maybe frogs. Yep. Ava, I would like for your eyes to be up here, please. Thank you, ma'am. All right, I'll take one more. Francis, what else lives in a pond? Crocodiles might live in a pond. Very good. All right.
I think
Put those
tadpoles.
put those listening ears on and see what I read to think about the main idea and what clues you used to figure that out. Ready? A pond has many living things. Fish swim in a pond. A fish is alive. Turtles are at a pond. A turtle is alive. Water lilies are in a pond. A water lily is alive. So now, friends, I want you just to think in your brain. What is the main idea? What is this mostly about? I'm going to read it one more time, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. It's called What Lives at the Pond. A pond has many living things. Fish swim in a pond. A fish is alive. Turtles are at a pond. A turtle is alive. Water lilies are in a pond. A water lily is alive too. All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions. I just want you to nod your head like this if you agree. Shake your head like this if you disagree, okay? Is this entire poster about fish? Yes or no? Nope, it's not all about fish because we talked about turtles. We talked about water lilies. We talked about the pond. It wasn't all about the fish. Gideon, on your packet, please, so friends behind you can see. Was this all about turtles? Yes or no? Nope, not quite, because we talked about turtles, but we also talked about fish and water lilies. Was it all about water lilies? No, not quite. So friends, the fish being alive, the turtles being alive, and the water lilies being alive, those were all supporting details. Those were not the main idea. The supporting details, remember, are supporting the main idea. So what do you think the main idea might be? The fish are alive in the pond, the turtles are alive in the pond, the lilies are alive in the pond. What do you think the main idea is? Elle, what's your idea?
The main idea is about the fishies.
Oh, very close. Remember, that was a supporting detail. Where do the fishies live?
Maybe the fishies live in the water.
In the
Pond.
in the pond. Very good. Okay, so the fish live in the pond. The turtles live in the pond. The water lilies live in the pond. What do all three of those things have in common? Whisper it to me.
They live in the pond.
They live in the pond, friends. Do you think things that live in the pond is the main idea? Yeah, listen to this. The very first sentence I read, just listen. It says, a pond has many living things. Do you think that was the main idea?
Yeah.
I think so too. Okay, so the big idea is a pond has many living things. Raise your hand if you have a supporting detail. What is a clue that we used to determine that was our main idea? What was the clue, Rowan? Ava, crisscross? So how do we know that a pond has many living things? Connor, A, and Cora? It's big, very good. But what did we read about that lives in the pond?
Fishes and turtles and flower beds.
Amazing. So our main idea, friends, our big idea was that ponds have a lot of living things. We have fish, which is one living thing. We have turtles, which is two living things. We have water lilies, which is three living things. So a pond has many living things. All right, friends, I want you to say, the main idea is the big idea.
The main idea is the big idea.
The big idea of our poster today was that a pond has a lot of living things. I would say supporting details. Support the main idea.
Support the main idea.
So those supporting details were that fish live in the pond, turtles live in the pond, and water lilies live in the pond. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. So friends, using that main idea helps us to understand what this is all about. Because if you just looked at this poster and you didn't read the words, you'd be kind of like, what's going on there, wouldn't you? Yeah. But now that we read the words and we thought about the main idea, now we know a little bit more about how this poster works. Awesome. I want you to give your brain a nice little rub. Say, you're working hard.
You're working hard.
Now give it a pat and say, oh, you're so smart.
You're so smart.
Amazing. Great work today, friends.